Welcome to another edition of Mom Knows Ball, episode 17. I just want to start off, before I say hello to Mom, I want to shout out our amazing producer, Tamra Varner, who does great work, the stuff that, it's the groundwork, she does, maybe not the prettiest job sometimes, it's not always the most glamorous, but you know what, without her, we would have no pod, so just want to shout out Tamra to start the pod, not just to finish. So yeah, Mom.
Yes, shout out to Tamra.
Mom.
Yes.
How are you feeling though?
I am feeling okay, and the reason is I have prepared myself for this moment. So let's go through the rundown, and we will start.
So and when I ask her if she's okay, that's because the CFP final playoff rankings dropped and Alabama was kept out.
Yes. So how am I doing? I refuse to let myself be hopeful that Alabama would get into the college football playoff.
That's true.
I wouldn't. I gave myself yesterday to watch this Clemson SMU game because they said, the way we were ranked, if Clemson lost, we potentially could get in. And that was the only period of time, and that was really less than 24 hours. And because I just didn't think we were going to make it in, not that I don't think based on the criteria that they have set, which is supposed to really acknowledge strength of schedule, but because we did lose 3 games, and we lost 2 games to teams we shouldn't have lost to. However, I will say this. I listened to Nick this morning, and what I think is the college football playoff committee needs to decide if strength of schedule is really important, and they need to decide that throughout the ranking period. Because quite frankly, if they had utilized that, SMU wouldn't have been ranked as high as they were ranked. And then it wouldn't have been regardless of whether you win or lose, you're going to be in the college football playoff. They can't penalize a team that's already in the playoffs for going into a championship game and losing, because then teams won't go. We're playing Michigan. It feels like a little revenge match.
We're playing Michigan? Wait, we're playing Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because, I go into these pods sometimes blind just so you can get my instant reaction. We're playing Michigan, who is 8-5.
Yeah, I think it's a SEC team and a big.
I guess you know what? It's a silver lining because at least we can end the year on the right note. But yeah, you're definitely right. I think the incentive of should teams want to play in their championship games, I think we should enforce that. And so I do think that's a good thing. And I will say something again, maybe this is from the top rope. I just think if Nick Saban's coaching that team, they put us in. I think Nick Saban, this is the first time I can remember us being on the losing end of rankings. People will always be like, oh, of course Alabama gets in. So I just think Nick, I don't know, it's not DeBoer's fault by any means. It's just the Saban effect does it's Saban. Of course we're going to put him in. Because we know if we don't, he'll come after us. I truly believe if Nick was the coach of that team, we would have made it in the rankings because they didn't want to deal with the wrath of Nick. And so I don't know. Am I wrong? I feel that there's something to Nick's aura that people are just we would always kind of get the nod, and it's weird for us not to get the nod this year.
I think that they really had no choice after they created this narrative we're not going to penalize a team that's already in for playing. They created that narrative. And the problem that for me, and again, I'm biased and I get that, right?
Wait, you're biased?
Yeah, it's a little.
Just okay, I didn't, right. Just
for me is then you shouldn't have had SMU ranked so high going into the championship weekend because you didn't really have a choice. But I'm, again,
You're okay?
I've been on. I've
I
been.
will you did a good job at mentally preparing
I
yourself for
did.
this.
Yes.
She's handling this much better than I thought. Again, I'm a Bama fan and I kind of was I was shocked because I was drinking all the Kool-Aid. I was thinking we would just get the nod. We would get the benefit of the doubt. So,
Yeah.
it's good that we're not dealing with two just emotionally unstable kings. It's just one.
So one of the things that I had wanted to mention was like Cam Newton. Like, I'm a Cam Newton fan, and I have so many people who like give me a hard time, but I love everything about how he does, how he dresses, the hats and everything. He had a really interesting take on the Trevor Lawrence hit from the Texan defensive player who ended up getting suspended for like 3 games. And he just talked about how hard it is to coach a defensive player to like not have that happen. Like you're coaching them to hit, you're coaching them to hit hard, you're coaching them to be aggressive, but you're like, is there a moment where you're like, okay, look, when you think he's going to slide, then that's the moment where you pull back. But you got to make sure it's the right, So I just thought it was an interesting take on the hit. And then he also said, like, nobody was getting those kind of penalties when I was getting, hit
Yeah, I
all
did,
the time. So
and
I was like,
I
okay,
remember Cam being the on the losing end of a lot of
exactly.
those because he was a bigger dude, and I do think I thought it was a dirty hit, and I told you guys I loved that the team like went after him, and the team like was like like Evan Ingram was like, ready to square up. But at the same time, we do have to think about it in like in real time. It's a bang bang play. I don't think like he needs to be kicked out of the league. It's like he got his 3 games. I think it's good. I think it makes kind of it teaches him a lesson. He did go on social media and post like if y'all want me to be the villain, I'll be the villain. It's like, bro, no, we just don't want you to like,
No,
decapitate someone. Like it's like not a hard ask, just don't be that guy.
yeah.
But everyone likes to play either like I'm sorry or like I'm gonna be the villain. So he had like some Joker meme, which again is a weak sauce in my opinion. But no, I mean I think it's an educated take, and I think um yeah, it's going to continue to be a conversation piece as time goes on with how much leeway are we giving to these quarterbacks. We've seen Patrick Mahomes kind of do the in and out kind of I'm gonna slide, I'm not. Is that fair to the defender? So yeah, I think personally we are I we've had kind of longer episodes recently, and I want us to kind of give our listeners
Okay.
something quick on their commute. So we're gonna go straight into the good, the bad, and I'm gonna throw it to Mom for the.
Eh.
I mean, took her. What was it? The delay or what was that? I mean, that took way too long. Okay, Mom, what is your good?
My good is um Bryce Young and Jalen Hurts today playing against each other.
Love
So
it.
a couple of reasons it's a good for me. First of all, I felt like, I couldn't lose. I wanted both of them to play well. I really think both of them did. Seeing Bryce just play like the guy that we know he is, like I said, that warms my heart. And I had heard earlier in the week when they were talking to Bryce, and he was saying that Jalen Hurts was a big part of why he ended up going to Alabama. And not because, he met him and talked to him and everything. It's just that he noticed how he was developed at Alabama and what that culture, how that culture had really worked for him. And then they just met today for the first time. Like this was the first time they ever met in person. So the Eagles got the win. Bryce played well. Jalen played well. So it was just a good game. I wish both of them could have won. So yeah, that was my good. Bryce and Jalen both playing well today.
And there's a great video of them kind of embracing at the end of the game. And it's nice to see those guys. I just every time I have this calmness when I check the box score or throw on the Panthers game that like, oh, he's got to figure it out now. And it just feels like he has. And I know you said Jalen played well, but there are some people on the internet, actually a lot, and Philly fans they're concerned about the passing game because he had 3 total touchdowns, but only 108 passing yards, and it's a game the Eagles probably should have like easily won. But at the same time, I do think we're overreacting. I'm just like reading the conversations online, and it's like, I believe deep down every Eagles fan is concerned about Jalen Hurts in the passing game. Some people are willing to admit it, others are not. I just think we got to relax. It's a game they probably knew they were going to win. I don't think there was a sense of urgency. Yeah, they could have beaten them by 50. That would have looked great, but like a win's a win. Balanced attack with Saquon, and so I think it's fine.
Yeah. And they got Saquon,
it's like I don't.
what?
It's not like Jalen had 4, turnovers or whatever it is. Like he had no turnovers, and I don't know. I don't see the issue.
Yeah,
like he took a couple sacks that he shouldn't have for sure, but I don't know if it's something to like. I mean, they've won. They're 11-2. It's not a big deal. You win the games you're supposed to win. This is also the same Panthers team that almost beat the Bucks, who were a playoff team, and almost beat the Chiefs,
and the
who were Super Bowl Chiefs. Yeah. So it's like, what are we talking about? Like, this is not the same Panthers team. This is not. So,
to me, were they saying that after they almost beat the Chiefs? Were they saying, "Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes"? Were they saying that after they almost beat the Bucks?
There's a difference because Patrick Mahomes.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, no, sure. I just think people got to relax.
Get out of here.
My good.
You don't. I'm not gonna let you talk about anybody. Talk about Jake.
I'm not, Mom. I know. I'm presenting a argument, and my good is the Mavericks. That is our NBA team, and next week or the week after, we're gonna do a little NBA preview with a special guest who's very close to my heart. And I'm excited about that. But our Dallas Mavericks, our NBA team, have won 7 straight and are in the quarterfinals of the highly anticipated, everyone always talks about it, the Emirates NBA Cup. You guys are like, what is that? It's a midseason.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't even know how it
understand.
Works. Yeah, it's and trying to understand will just make it harder to understand. But the Mavericks are in the quarterfinals against the Thunder. On Tuesday, we've looked great. We're now second in the East or second in the West. Luka's healthy. I know it's only December, but the Mavericks have been known to start off the season slow. It's good to see our boys looking great out there. Klay Thompson has been up and down, but I don't know. We're rounding into the team that made it to the finals. And yes, it's early, but it makes our football teams not being as good a little bit easier when I can, throw on League Pass and see Luka dropping 40 and, us winning. So that's my good.
Definitely something to look forward to. And I'll definitely try and catch a few games here in Dallas.
Because now that our football season is, I don't want to say essentially over, but as
not
fans,
over because
it's not over, but you know what I mean. It's like, we have to find new outlets to kind of put our fandom
because
into.
we have to support our team in their.
No, Mom, we're gonna support. Don't jump. Let's not jump the gun. But all right, Mom. What is your bad?
My bad is, what's happening with the Los Angeles Lakers. They lost their last 3 games. I think they've lost 7 of the last 9 games. The thing for me with the Lakers is, they've just been, in my mind, they've been that solid team for me. I was a Laker fan back in the day. I was a Laker fan. Like, I was a Magic Johnson fan. I had the biggest crush on Magic Johnson. Okay, I'm just gonna.
If I have to hear about this
listen,
again.
Listen.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, because
she's had a crush on every NBA. Okay.
My first cousins went to school with him at Michigan State. I actually went to one of his birthday parties. When he first got out of school, he used to throw these elaborate birthday parties. And I had the biggest crush. And so one day I was talking to my younger sister and Tinny, and my mom heard me saying how much I had a crush on Magic Johnson. I was going to marry Magic Johnson. And it was quite the realist. And she was like, baby, Magic Johnson don't want you. And I was like, I was crushed. It's like,
Oh,
um,
Granny. Oh, Granny.
it's like, so apparently he didn't want me. So I think my bad is, that Laker dynasty, I don't know. It's you just always kind of think it's gonna be there. And I don't know. I don't know if it's still there. Okay.
Okay, so my bad is these Christmas movies. I just like, and I know my mom is gonna kill me on this, but these straight to streaming Christmas movies are getting out of hand. Okay, we got a Hot Frosty, which like I don't even want to touch that one, where a woman may or may not have intimate relationships with a snowman, and then we got this Lindsay Lohan movie. I mean, it's just getting, it's like too much. Okay, like they're becoming self-aware and they know like we can go as ridiculous as we can because like it's gonna get talked about. I like when it was like a little kept secret, kind of. I don't know. I lost it after Hot Frosty. I just can't. Next year, what is it gonna be? Hot Grinch? They're gonna have the Grinch up there with like a six pack or something. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's just getting out of hand.
Okay.
I'm out.
So you know how much I love these holiday
I
movies.
know, I know, I
And
know.
and I did a post yesterday about how I've been influenced so much that I am actually drinking hot chocolate during our recording because in every Christmas movie, like hot chocolate makes everything better. So, and I
With a,
might or
with a
might not.
splash of vodka or bourbon, obviously. Did you include
I
that or?
cannot. I can neither confirm or deny that.
Okay,
And
well,
I'm
there's a
grown, so
little,
if I
might be a
want,
little in here.
okay, you don't need to be bringing up a red cup. Okay, so
Oh,
I'm drinking hot chocolate. I don't have a problem. Oh, okay.
free sponsorship, Starbucks. I'm ready.
I just the Christmas movies are predictable and sometimes they can be ridiculous. I saw the movie where the snowman turned into like a Chippendale dancer looking guy.
Your favorites.
I saw one where like an elf girl got a man, and I'm like, my thinking was,
I
if a
know.
little
Here we
elf
go.
can get a man, what
Why
can
can't you?
you?
Yeah, well, hey, maybe next year they'll have a Christmas movie for a 60 plus year. Just kidding. Obviously, all right, I'm gonna stop before
Yeah,
I
you
get
should
ahead.
stop. You should
I'm gonna
stop.
shut up.
Okay,
Okay, what is your eh?
okay. My aunt is, and again,
Here we go.
it truly is one I just don't know. After the SEC championship game, Kirby Smart, when he was like giving his, I don't know, speech or whatever, he basically scolded the SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey, around scheduling, around the fact that they had to travel to too many away games. And so, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, did you have to do that publicly? Couldn't you just have a conversation with him? I mean, we could talk about scheduling also. We could talk about the fact that, you know, Texas didn't have to play Alabama. Texas didn't have to play LSU. Texas didn't have to play Ole Miss. I think I got that right. I'm not sure about the LSU game, but there was a lot of conversations about Texas's schedule. Um, so I don't know. Like I don't know, Kirby. I don't know.
Well, it's also just it's like we don't want to hear like y'all are gonna make it in. Like it's like I guess it was just one of those like you're whining over nothing and like you've won. Like just take the win and move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's just
it's
like
kind
it
of
was
like
just
an
unnecessary. Yeah, and I get it. I mean, mom, if Alabama would have made it in, this wouldn't have been mom's but that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Your bias is showing just a smidge. My I think this is a very appropriate might be more of a bad, honestly. It's an trending downwards to a bad. Is the Jaguars winning today after it's our first one, I think, in the States in like, yeah, it's our first one in the States, I think, since like September, which isn't great. We won in London. We beat the Titans. the battle of the bottom, and I don't know if winning right now is necessarily the best thing for us. We're now 3-10, and that puts us in a tie, I think, for, let's see. Yeah, now we're in like a 4. Actually, the Giants now have the number 1 pick guaranteed. Not guaranteed, but right now they do. So, yeah, I just don't know if winning right now is the best thing. It's kind of like tank season. Let's get a high draft pick, see where we go from there. It's good to see, like, as a fan, you always want your teams to win and do well. But like, we got the backup quarterback in. It's not like if Trevor Lawrence was playing, I'd probably want us to win. But it's Mac Jones. Love you, Mac. But you threw 2 really bad picks today. Can't have that. Anyway, it's just, we won, but at what cost? At what cost, Mom? At what cost?
I get it. We were officially eliminated last week from contention from the contention from the playoff, and so, but you always think that these are professional athletes and they want to be competitive. So, I get it that it's an end, because I was cheering for them to win, and Crawford was like, we don't want them to win. So, yeah, it's a good end. So
yeah, I mean, it's that time of the year. Unfortunately, we got to think about next season. I know I have we are officially eliminated. It just wasn't our year, and probably we should just go hide away for a while. It's just not. Yeah, we just don't need to be in the. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Well, we're still gonna play our games, and
we're gonna play our games. Yeah. I love. We can confidently say Brian Thomas Jr. is the man, and we have a number 1 wide receiver. I love him. We haven't had a receiver like this, I think, since like Jimmy Smith. We even had like a true number 1 great guy like this in a while. Him and Ladd McConkey are like going back and forth on who's gonna lead, rookies in receptions. But I just love what I'm seeing out of him. So a little bit of a silver lining there. But yeah, that's my
Okay.
And I think we needed a little chill episode, little like, all right, like, let's regroup. We gotta find our bearings now that all seasons are kind of, changing. Obviously Mom and I were together last week, and we will be together, I think, for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's up in the air. We'll see.
It is not.
See. Hey, we don't know.
Yeah,
hey,
we do.
Little peek behind the curtain. We don't know.
There's no peek behind the curtain.
There might be a peek behind the curtain. Anyway, that concludes. And Mom, I love your shirt, by the way. It's a great fit. Very nice. That concludes episode 17. Guys, we're almost legal. That is crazy. Next week will be our 18th birthday. We are excited. We love you guys. We love the feedback. We're excited to have more guests on. I know we got, a player coming up soon. So, stay tuned there. Like, subscribe, all the good things. Share with your friends. Share with your families. Everyone's in now. It's a little colder. People need a good listener. Watch. See our pretty faces. Do our thing, He's definitely got the zoomies now. So, anyway, that is it. Mom, do you know ball?
I know ball. I know some ball.
I think you know a little ball. And are you going to ask me now, or is that how we...
Jordan?
I mean, it's like the one thing, yeah.
Jordan, do you know ball?
I know a bit of ball. I will say I know a bit of ball.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right.
See y'all later.
Bye.